Last year, a recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn with a higher paying job opportunity. Now I have a government job, but I'm always open to new opportunities, right? I'm never closed off completely. Something better comes along, might consider it. You never know. Now the reason the recruiter reached out to me, she looked at my LinkedIn profile and she saw that I worked at the Department of Veteran Affairs. And because of that, her company was actually awarded a contract to support the VA. And this was a 5-year contract. Now, the first thing that she said is she believed I would be a good fit for this position. This is just by looking at my LinkedIn profile. So this is one of the main reasons why I tell people to keep your LinkedIn profile updated. It doesn't necessarily have to match your resume, but have some of the experience that you have done in the past. And when you get a new job, update it and show that you're in a new position. So she asked me, what would be a good salary? And this is one of the things I cannot stand about the private sector. There is very little salary transparency. So if you work in the military, if you're in the military, you know what you're going to get paid because there's a pay chart that applies to everybody. Same thing in the government. Whether it's federal or state or county, you know exactly what the pay bands are, what the grades are, what you need in order to achieve and continue to grow in your career. It's clearly stated. But in a company like this, there's so much smoke and mirrors, and you do not know or have a clear understanding on how much the company is willing to pay for the value that you'll bring. I took my current salary, I added 15% and I threw it out there just to see the reaction. She quickly said yes, which made me think, maybe that was too low. Maybe they're getting me on the cheap. Then she wanted to jump on a phone call, discuss some of the details, so I gave her a call, we talked about it. She asked me some of the standard questions a recruiter would ask somebody, and we got to the question, why do you want this job or why does this job interest you? And I said, look, I didn't even know this job existed. Really, I'm not looking for a new job, but you're presenting me with this opportunity. She then tells me she wants to go ahead and connect me with the hiring manager, but before that, she tells me the PTO policy, which is the paid time off. So there is no PTO for the first 6 months. And I was like, well, what if I had to get something done? What if I needed to go on a medical appointment, take care of some other business? She said, you could take the time off. We're understanding in you taking the time off, but you wouldn't get paid for it. And I was thinking, man, that seems like a pretty bad deal, right? You're used to, in a government job, you're used to getting paid. And if you're sick, you wake up sick, you have your sick leave. If you have something else to do, you could take your regular PTO, your regular paid time off. But she was presenting me in a situation that might be common in a lot of different private sector jobs. But the first 6 months, if I were sick or if someone in my family was sick, I would not get paid for that time. So I thought about it, right? I realized it's a higher salary, which appeals to a lot of people. But I'm in my 40s now, and there comes a time in everyone's life where you have a balance between time and money. And at a certain point in your life, you realize that time is more valuable to you than money. Because maybe you can make more money, but not a single person out there can make more time. You only have a limited amount of time. So with a higher paced job, with a more demanding schedule, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I enjoy doing, right? Right now, I enjoy going out for a run. I enjoy making these type of videos. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy spending time with my family. So even a 15% raise, that's not worth it to me in my current situation. I told her, thank you for the consideration. I'm not going to take this job. She replied, why? And I mentioned, PTO, and the salary just wasn't worth it for me to make this kind of change. And that's when she comes back with a higher salary offer. And I'm thinking, there was more money on the table they were willing to pay me, but they wanted to get me at a cheaper rate. So I understand that's how the job market works in a lot of areas. It doesn't sit right with me. Also, now I was going to be able to get a few days of PTO, but I already had that sour taste in my mouth. I realized regardless of the salary increase, it's not going to be worth it for me. One of the reasons I made this video is to let government employees know, especially the newer ones that are just getting into the government, after you work there a couple of years, you could be contacted, you could be targeted by these private defense contracting companies or contracting companies, and because you have a certain skill set or familiarity with that agency, that makes you a desirable target for them. Because the more people they have with that experience, if they're a contracting company and they're getting a contract with, say, the Department of Agriculture, if they have former Department of Agriculture employees that are knowledgeable on their systems, that's going to increase the probability of them keeping the contract or perhaps getting a new contract. So you have to be aware of those things, and the money, like I said, is not always up front. If money is one of the top priorities in your life, that's another thing. Perhaps you can pivot and use your experience in order to get a higher paying job. But one of the ways all of this happens is through LinkedIn. I ran a poll not too long ago, maybe a month ago, and I asked people, have you ever received a job interview through LinkedIn? And 39% of the people said yes. But I think there was something like 14 or 15% of people said that they were not on LinkedIn or they did not plan to get on LinkedIn. And if you're not planning to get on LinkedIn, then you're closing a door or you're closing a window on potential opportunities that could be out there for you. But if you want to get on LinkedIn but you do not know exactly how or what strategy to take, I made a video that shows you how you can start generating interest and potentially get a better job on LinkedIn. And if you want to know how to do that, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.